Welcome to The Eventful Entrepreneur with Krista Graham, where we embark on an exciting journey through the dynamic intersection of weddings and entrepreneurship. Join me, Krista Graham, your guide in the world of growing a successful wedding business. In each episode this season, we dive into one piece of your client journey from marketing to offboarding. Whether you're a seasoned wedding pro or just starting, this podcast is your go-to resource for navigating the intricacies of the wedding industry. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the final episode, officially, of season 2. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on if I should do a takeaway podcast for Wedding MBA. So, if you don't know what Wedding MBA is, very succinctly, it's a conference in Las Vegas for wedding professionals. Happens in November every year, and I am going. So, it's just about a month away. And I was thinking I could record quick snippets after each presentation or class that I go to of some key takeaways that I got from each. So I think that would be pretty doable, depending on how long the clips end up being and how chatty I get. It might be like broken down by day, or I might be able to just do it all at once. Probably we'll just do it all at once, and then a quick recap of the whole thing after it's over. So I also plan on vlogging this as long as my camera's not broken, because I dropped it the other day and I'm kind of scared to turn it on and see if it's broken or not. I think it's fine. The battery kind of door just broke to the battery compartment, but so I will be vlogging it also. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed there, you should subscribe. But okay, let's get into today's topic, the final topic for season 2, where we have kind of went through the whole workflow of branding, marketing, finding clients, onboarding them, working with them, getting through their event, and now we're to the wedding has happened. What do we do now? Okay. It's really hard to remember that you're not your client's friend, even though you've worked closely with them for maybe a year plus. After the wedding, you're likely not going to hear from them again. So I do kind of try and connect with my clients on at least on Instagram, so I can continue to cheer them on for their successes, and just kind of see what's going on in their life. And we have several Krista Graham events babies now from clients, and even though I've never met the baby, and I kind of feel like they're a little auntie, so it is what it is. It's that sort of parasocial relationship, I guess. But I actually do know the people. But our working relationship is over. That doesn't mean I can't clap and cheer for things that they have going on. Anyway, I digress. So this final episode, like I said, we're going to focus on the offboarding process. Offboarding is crucial because you do want to maintain that relationship, and hopefully that will secure future business. They can refer their family and friends to you, their coworkers, anybody they know who's getting married. They can say, my wedding planner is fabulous, or my florist was amazing, or my photographer is an artist. Here, call them, and that can help set you up for success. So you do want to do a final check-in with the client. And honestly, I have flip-flopped back and forth, and I'm not sure what the best way to go about it is. I don't think there is a best way. I think whatever way works for you, just pick one and stick with it. Whether you follow up with the client first or vendors, oftentimes there's going to be information that needs to be passed back and forth between the vendors and the clients, or vice versa. So I think just pick a way and stick with it. I tend to follow up with vendors first, typically the first working day after the wedding. I send the vendor an email and I will say, thank you for all their hard work. I'll try and mention something specific about the day, so they know that it's not just a, templated email I'm copying and pasting, even though I do start with a template. I do customize it for each one. I try and say something specific. Um, Mention any positive feedback that you got from clients or guests at the wedding. Ask them for anything that's still outstanding. Is there anything they need from the client? Do they need anything from me? And then I ask them where they would like, where they prefer their reviews to be. I will obviously pass that on to the client, but I will also go review the vendor if it was a good experience. I typically don't leave terrible reviews. I will handle that one-on-one with the vendor, but I will go leave them a review if it's the first time I've worked with them. If I've worked with them multiple times, I can update the review. But if I've already left a review, I typically just leave it at that. So I ask for their review location for several reasons. One, obviously, like I said, send it to the client so they can leave a review. Two, so I can leave the review. And three, hopefully they will also leave me a review. So it's kind of a mutual strengthening of vendor relationship and building each other up a little bit, because clients do tend to rely on reviews for hiring their vendors. If you want to work with this person in the future, you can mention that maybe you're going to put them on your preferred vendor list, and you would appreciate any referrals they could send your way. Think if you want to do a styled shoot in the future and you love their style, maybe you can work together on that. If it's a photographer, ask if they need any help submitting the wedding to any publications or things like that. Just try and keep the relationship warm, professional, friendly, and um, put it out there that you do want to work with them again if that is the case. Okay, so going back to the client. So after I've gotten the information from the vendor, basically two pieces of information I need from the vendor before I can effectively communicate with the client and have all the information at once rather than emailing them a million times. I need from each vendor to make sure there's nothing outstanding that they need from the client, and then their review location. So in the email that I send the client, that's the final follow up, I will include, again, I start with a template, but I will customize each thing. I've only accidentally sent the template not customized one time, and I was completely embarrassed, and that will not happen again. um, so my template is basically, obviously telling them all the things that you loved about their wedding day, specifically including any positive feedback that you get from their guests. They want to impress their guests, they want their guests to have a great time. So, hearing that first person account from the guest is very meaningful for a client. So, this typically happens definitely within a week of the wedding, but like typically toward middle to end of the week, because I'll need time to get all this information from the vendors, right? So tell them things that you loved. Tell them anything you troubleshooted that they may have noticed. If it's something that I had to fix that they would never have even known about, I typically don't tell them about it. That's the beauty of hiring a planner, is we fix a lot of things before you even realize, before the client even realizes there's a problem. So I typically don't bring anything up unless it's something that could get back to the client, or that I feel like would get back to the client, or it's something the client brought to my attention on the wedding day. If it's the elephant in the room, I will definitely address it here. Ask if there's anything they need from me to help finalize things. Make sure that, if you have any of their personal items for whatever reason, you need to suggest some times and ways to get that back to them. And then you might also want to communicate a timeline for deliverables. So especially from like photographer, videographer, remind them of what the timeline is to get their photos back. Sometimes it could be up to 12 weeks, I've seen. I think that's the longest I've ever seen for a photographer, but just remind them and let them know, your photographer could take up to 6 weeks to get your gallery back to you. So, with your wedding being October 1st, you can expect your photos before Thanksgiving, maybe a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. Put the time frame into a frame of reference for them so that they kind of have a target to look forward to. Let's see. Also, if you want to offer assistance for things like picking photos for a photo album, um, helping, if they rented linens that they now have in their hands, asking if they, need help getting those back to the company, um, depending on the time that you have available, you can also offer to help. Things like that. A lot of that probably would have been taken care of before the wedding and decided before the wedding, but sometimes clients will take on more than they want to. And then after the wedding, they're like, shit, why did I agree to do this? And they'll take you up on, you picking up the linen and returning it for them. Let's see. I think that is about it. I missed the big piece. At the end of that email, I list all of the vendor review locations that the vendor prefers. Could be the Google, it could be the Not, whatever it is. I'll list those. If I haven't received a place that they prefer a review, I'll typically just include like their Google business link if they have one. And then I'll give a few tips on leaving a good review. And some of these tips I think came from a podcast from Refine for wedding planners. So check out that podcast if you haven't listened to it. But the two big suggestions are number one, if you're having an issue with a vendor, don't let the review be the place that you air that grievance. At least have a conversation with the vendor first and see if you can get things ironed out before you leave just a scathing review. Two, and on that point, back up to number one, on that point, there could be a very good reason for why a vendor did what they did that the client doesn't understand, and knowing that background information might solve the problem. So that's why I always say talk to the vendor first before you just leave a bad review. And then two, if you went above and beyond or you did something you don't normally do for a client, and then that client puts it in the review that you did that thing, future clients are going to look at that and expect that that is your standard level of service. So encourage the client to not be too specific about anything you went above and beyond about, or just tell them a good saying is they went above and beyond to make sure that the wedding was perfect or whatever. But try not to give away any like tips or tricks of the trade or extra service levels that we provided that we weren't being paid for. Because we all like to surprise and delight, but that doesn't mean we need to make that our standard, going above and beyond our standard for every single person. Let's keep that a surprise so we can surprise and delight. Okay, I think that is the end. So I will leave a link in the show notes to a business resource PDF download that has a lot of tools that I've used and books and things like that to successfully run my business, to be effective and productive and all those things. I will also try, like I said, to record some takeaways from Wedding MBA, both for the podcast and then for the YouTube channel. I will be doing some vlogging. And if you just simply want to keep in touch, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Christagram_events over there. and I have no idea what season 3 is going to look like, when it's going to happen, um, or any of that. Season 3 may not even happen. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of adjustments and changes that I'm going to be making. Namely, I'm adding virtual assisting services for wedding pros to my business. So, depending on how that takes off, I may have to adjust the time I have for podcast recording. So, just being honest with you, I don't know if there will be a season 3, and if there is, I don't know what that's going to look like, what the topic's going to be. I don't know. So, stay subscribed. The first place that I will announce anything will be here on the podcast channel. So stay subscribed, and you can get notified when or if that episode goes live. And thank you for sticking with me through season 2. I am 100% open to suggestions. If you think there's something I missed here, if you'd like a bonus episode on something I haven't talked about the client experience, or client workflow. If you have a great suggestion for season 3, if there's people you want me to interview, I'm open to that. Let me know. I will be doing some 2025 planning as we get closer to the end of the year. So having your ideas would be really, really helpful in that. So I can continue to grow the podcast and put out things that people actually want to listen to. With that said, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, no matter if or what you celebrate. I hope you have a great new year. I hope you make wonderful goals for yourself in the new year. And I'll talk to you in 2025, or at Wedding MBA. If you see me at Wedding MBA, you better say hi. I promise you. I promise you. I will be nice and I will talk to you back. Before we end today's episode, I want to share a new challenge that I created to help you organize your email inbox and create streamlined email workflows so you spend less time in your inbox. If you're drowning in a sea of unread emails, or if you find yourself struggling to stay on top of client communications and project deadlines, fear not, because I can help. Join my 3-day email challenge designed specifically for wedding pros to stay on top of their client communication. In this challenge, I'll show you how to conquer your email inbox once and for all. I'll teach you the STAR processing system, a simple yet powerful method for managing your emails efficiently. Plus, I'll walk you through setting up a labeling system to organize your emails by project or client, and I'll share strategies for establishing daily email routines that keep you focused and productive. Imagine starting each day with a clear, clutter-free inbox and ending it feeling accomplished and in control. With the Mastering Your Email Inbox 3-day challenge, you'll learn how to achieve the elusive Inbox Zero every single day and reclaim your time for the things that truly matter. So, are you ready to take your first step toward email freedom? Sign up for the challenge today by visiting kristagraham.com/challenge. You'll receive daily emails packed with tips, strategies, and actionable steps to transform your inbox and supercharge your productivity. Don't let your email inbox hold you back from reaching your full potential in the wedding industry. Join the challenge and take control of your inbox and your business starting today.